Morning. How's everybody? Well, from our committees to the House floor, once again, it's a busy week here in the People's House. Two committees of jurisdiction took action to help get answers about what took place at the IRS. The American people deserve the truth about what happened in the administration's targeting and abuse of conservatives. And since the President hasn't acted, the Energy and Commerce Committee advanced legislation this week to speed up exports of American natural gas. This will create jobs here at home, as well as put pressure on the Russian government as it continues its aggressive stance vis-a-vis Ukraine. We passed budget reform legislation to provide more accountability here in Washington and a more accurate picture of what we spend. And of course, later today, the House will pass a jobs budget for the fourth year in a row. This document is our vision for getting Americans back to work and our budget back in balance. I want to congratulate Chairman Ryan and the members of the committee for a job well done. Meanwhile, Democrats here in Washington continue to play their usual politics, using their old playbook of pitting one group of Americans against another. And frankly, it's pretty obvious that their efforts have failed. They've fallen flat because the American people are still asking the question, where are the jobs? And these political votes provide no answers. So the House is going to continue to focus on the American people's priorities, creating good-paying jobs, increasing wages, and expanding opportunity for all Americans. This means reforming our job training and skills programs, advancing bipartisan charter school legislation, critical water and highway infrastructure bills, expanding exports to our allies, and repealing and replacing Obamacare, just to name a few. We've been building our agenda, building an America that works, 1 week at a time and one bill at a time. And we're going to continue to do so, and that's the message I expect our members will take home here during this upcoming recess.
Do you still have confidence in Representative McAllister to serve the people of the 5th District?
And I expect all members to be held to the highest ethical standards. And this is no different. I've talked to Representative McAllister. I don't share with you the kind of conversations I have, but I have had a conversation with him. And, you know, he's got decisions that he has to make.
Speaker Boehner, this morning we learned 7.5 million people have now been enrolled on the Affordable Care Act. You guys have said you're going to put your own alternative on the floor. It seems to be delayed. A lot of members within your own conference are calling for you to put an alternative on the floor. When will we see that alternative, and what would it look like?
Well, I think that if you go back and look at the alternative that we offered during the consideration of Obamacare, you have at least a broad outline of the kind of things that we believe would help create more affordable health insurance for more Americans. The majority leader has been working with the chairman, the whip, and the conference chair have been working with our members, trying to build a consensus over what an alternative would look like. And I would hope that that work would continue.
When were you going to see the bill?
We're building a consensus. We'll see.
Would support 10 million people?
Mr. Speaker, could you give us an update on the Senate UI bill? 7 House Republicans wrote you a letter asking that you either bring that bill up or a similar one to it. Have you made a decision? What, if anything, you're going to do with that?
So I made clear to the president last December that you know, if he wanted us to consider an extension of emergency unemployment benefits, would have to be paid for and would have to include things that would help get our economy going. They've not put forward anything with regard to how we would create more jobs. And so the ball's still in their court.
Your senator,
whoa, 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 whoa.
What types of job creation, what kind of job creation package would maybe work for allowing UI to come to the floor?
You'll have to ask the administration. I made clear what it would take for me to consider it. They've not had any suggestions.
Recently, Chairman Camp said the possibility of using a short-term transfer to keep the Highway Trust Fund solvent is, quote, on the radar. About a month ago, you said you didn't think members would go for that. Do you think that position is changing as we get closer to insolvency and no solution is immediate?
No, I know there are a lot of members that are working on the Highway Trust Fund and the solvency issue. No decisions have been made, but I would hope that here over the coming months, they'll have some solutions that'll work.
Mr. Speaker, there was a pretty sharp exchange a couple of days ago between Congressman Boehner and the Attorney General about contempt. You mentioned contempt of Boehner a few minutes ago here. In a speech yesterday, the Attorney General had suggested that the way he was treated, and perhaps this president and others in the administration, were treated a certain way because of race. Even if that's not intentional by members of Congress, as the Attorney General might be intimating, is that a problem for members of your party when they go after members of the administration?
There's no issue of race here. The frustration is that the American people have not been told the truth about what happened at the IRS. The American people have not been told the truth about what happened in Fast and Furious. The administration has not told the American people the truth about Benghazi. And we've been going through all of these hearings, having to hold people in contempt because they've made it impossible to get to the documents. They've not been forthcoming. They owe the American people the truth. And when it comes to Benghazi, we've got 4 Americans who are dead, and their families deserve the truth about what happened, and the administration refuses to tell them the truth.